You're sitting across from a woman you've been seeing, maybe at dinner, maybe just talking over coffee. At some point, your hand rests on hers. She doesn't pull away. She doesn't tense up. She leans in slightly. Her body stays relaxed. There's no hesitation. And in that moment, something shifts. Not dramatically, not loudly, but you feel it. She's comfortable with your touch. And if you've lived long enough, if you've been through enough relationships, you already know what that means. It's not just attraction. It's not just chemistry. It's something deeper. Something most men overlook because they're too busy talking or trying to impress. But men over 50, men with experience, we notice, we've learned to read what isn't being said. And when a woman is comfortable with your touch, she's telling you everything without saying a word. Subscribe to Mature Instincts, where we explore the hidden signals most people miss. Touch is one of the most honest forms of communication. Words can be polite, words can be careful, but the body doesn't lie. When a woman allows your touch and stays relaxed in it, she's signaling trust. Not just physical trust, but emotional trust. She feels safe with you, safe enough to let her guard down, safe enough to stop performing. And that doesn't happen easily. Women are constantly aware of their physical space, especially around men they don't know well. They've been conditioned to be cautious. They've been burned before. So when a woman doesn't flinch, doesn't create distance, doesn't subtly shift her body away from yours, she's made a decision about you. She's decided you're not a threat. She's decided you're steady. She's decided you're someone she can be herself around. And for men over 50, that kind of trust is earned, not given. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you listen, how you show up without needing to prove anything. A lot of younger men miss this completely because they're focused on what they're going to say next or how they're being perceived. They're anxious, they're performing. And women feel that. They sense the tension. But when you're 50 or older, you've learned something most men never figure out. You've learned how to be present. You've learned how to be calm in your own skin. And that calmness creates comfort. It allows her to relax. When she's comfortable with your touch, she's responding to that energy. She's responding to the fact that you're not needy. You're not rushed. You're not trying to take anything from her. You're simply there. And that kind of presence is rare. Most men either come on too strong or they're so passive they disappear. But mature men understand the space in between. We understand that touch isn't about seduction. It's about connection. And connection only happens when both people feel safe enough to let it. Now, comfort with touch also signals something else. It signals that she sees you as masculine in a way that feels natural to her. Not performative masculinity, not loud or aggressive, but grounded, solid. The kind of masculinity that doesn't need to announce itself. When a woman leans into your touch instead of away from it, when she lets your hand rest on her shoulder or her arm without pulling back, she's responding to your energy. She's responding to the fact that you're not apologizing for being a man. You're not second-guessing yourself. You're not asking permission with your body language before you do anything. You're simply confident enough to be yourself. And that confidence, that ease, it's attractive in a way that has nothing to do with age. In fact, age is an advantage here because younger men are still figuring out who they are. They're still performing. But men over 50, we've stopped trying to be something we're not. We've stopped chasing validation. And that shift, that internal shift, it changes how women respond to us. They feel it. They sense that we're not trying to prove anything. And that makes them want to be close. There's also a psychological layer here that most men never think about. When a woman is comfortable with your touch, it means she's stopped testing you. Women test men, not consciously most of the time, but they do. They test to see if you're consistent. They test to see if you're calm under pressure. They test to see if you're going to lose your cool or become needy or change who you are to please them. And if you pass those tests, not by trying, but by simply being solid, she stops testing. She relaxes. She lets you in. And one of the first signs of that is physical comfort. She stops managing the space between you. She stops being hyper-aware of where your hands are or how close you're sitting. She just exists next to you without tension. And that's a signal. It's a signal that she's moved from evaluating you to trusting you. And trust, real trust, that's the foundation of everything that comes after. But here's what a lot of men get wrong. they think comfort with touch is the goal. They think once she's comfortable, they've won. But that's not how it works. Comfort is not the finish line. It's the starting point. It's where real intimacy begins. Because once she's comfortable, once she trusts you enough to relax in your presence, that's when she starts revealing who she really is. Not the polite version, not the filtered version, the real version, the version that's messy and human and vulnerable. And if you're mature enough to handle that, if you're grounded enough to not need her to be perfect, then something real can develop. But if you treat her comfort as a conquest, if you take it for granted, or start pushing for more without earning the next level of trust, you'll lose it. Women can feel when a man is just checking boxes. They can feel when touch is transactional. And the moment they feel that, the walls go back up. So the key is to appreciate her comfort without exploiting it. Let it be what it is, a sign that you're doing something right, a sign that she feels safe, and then continue being the man who made her feel that way in the first place. Another thing to understand is that comfort with touch often appears in small moments before it appears in big ones. She might touch your arm when she's laughing. She might brush past you without creating extra space. She might stand close when you're talking, close enough that your shoulders almost touch. These aren't accidents. These are signals. She's testing the waters. She's seeing how you respond. And here's where experience matters. Younger men either overreact or they don't react at all. They either lunge for more or they're so scared of misreading the situation that they freeze. But men over 50, we've learned to read the room. We've learned to notice without pouncing. When she touches your arm, you don't make a big deal out of it. You don't suddenly escalate. You just acknowledge it with your presence. Maybe you hold eye contact a second longer. Maybe you smile slightly. Maybe you return the touch in a natural way, light and easy, not heavy or lingering. And then you move on. You let the moment breathe. You let her feel that you noticed, that you appreciated it, but that you're not desperate for it. And that restraint, that calm confidence, it makes her want to do it again. It makes her feel safe exploring that connection further. Touch also reveals something about timing. When a woman is comfortable with your touch, it often means the timing is right. She's in a place emotionally where she's open to connection. She's not distracted. She's not guarded. She's present. And that's important because timing is everything in relationships. You can be the right man at the wrong time and it won't work. But when the timing aligns, when she's emotionally available and you're showing up as a calm, grounded presence, everything flows naturally. And touch is one of the first indicators that the timing is right. Because if the timing were off, if she weren't ready, she'd create distance. She'd keep things verbal. She'd keep things surface level. But when she allows touch, when she initiates it or responds to it without hesitation, she's signaling that she's ready for something more. She's ready to move beyond polite conversation and into real connection. And for men over 50, recognizing the timing and honoring it, that's what separates us from men who are still learning. There's also something powerful about what her comfort with your touch says about your self-control. Women are highly attuned to whether a man is in control of himself. And when you touch her in a way that's confident but not aggressive, present but not demanding, she feels your self-control. She feels that you're not ruled by impulse. She feels that you're capable of being close without losing your composure. And that matters because a lot of men, especially men who haven't done the inner work, they touch women with an agenda. They touch with urgency. They touch in a way that communicates need. And women feel that. They feel the desperation underneath it. But when you're 50 or older and you've learned to be comfortable in your own skin, your touch communicates something different. It communicates that you're offering connection, not taking it. It communicates that you're interested but not needy. And that distinction, that subtle but crucial distinction, it changes everything. It makes her feel desired without feeling pressured. It makes her feel wanted without feeling like an object. And that kind of touch, that kind of presence, it's magnetic. One more thing worth understanding is that comfort with touch often deepens over time, but only if you remain consistent. A woman might be comfortable with your hand on her back one evening, but that doesn't mean she'll be comfortable with more intimate touch the next day. Trust is built in layers. Comfort is built in layers. And rushing through those layers is one of the fastest ways to destroy what you've built. Mature men understand this. We understand that patience isn't passive. Patience is active. It's choosing to honor where she is instead of pushing for where you want her to be. And when you do that, when you let her comfort level guide the pace, something interesting happens. She starts moving things forward. She starts initiating more. She starts testing boundaries on her own terms. And that's when you know the foundation is solid. That's when you know she's not just comfortable with your touch, she's comfortable with you. And that's the real signal. Not just that she trusts your hands, but that she trusts your character, that she trusts the man behind the touch. So when a woman is comfortable with your touch, what is she really signaling? She's signaling trust. She's signaling that she feels safe with you, emotionally and physically. She's signaling that she stopped testing you and started believing in you. She's signaling that the timing is right, that she's open, that she's present. And she's signaling that you've done something most men never figure out. You've learned to be calm. You've learned to be grounded. You've learned that real attraction isn't about what you say or what you do. It's about who you are when everything else falls away. And men over 50, we have the advantage here because we've lived long enough to know that. We've made the mistakes. We've learned the lessons. We've stopped performing and started being. And women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who's trying and a man who simply is. And when they feel that, they relax, they open up, they let you in. Here's what it all comes down to. Comfort with touch isn't just about physical attraction. It's not about chemistry, at least not in the shallow sense. It's about presence. It's about trust. It's about emotional safety. And those things, those deeper things, they don't happen by accident. They happen because of how you show up. They happen because of the energy you bring. They happen because you've learned through years of experience that the best relationships aren't built on excitement or intensity. They're built on steadiness, on consistency, on being someone she doesn't have to manage or worry about or second guess. And when you become that man, when you embody that calm, grounded presence, everything changes. Women respond differently. They move toward you instead of away. They touch you first. They lean in, they let their guard down. And all of that starts with one simple thing: her being comfortable with your touch. So pay attention. Notice the moments when she doesn't pull away. Notice when she leans in instead of leaning back. Notice when her body language is open and relaxed instead of tense and guarded. Because those moments, those quiet, subtle moments, they're telling you everything you need to know. And if you've earned that comfort, if you've built that trust, don't take it for granted. Honor it, protect it. Continue being the man who made her feel safe in the first place. Because that's what separates men over 50 from everyone else. We understand that real connection isn't loud, it isn't flashy, it isn't about what you can get. It's about what you can create together when both people feel safe enough to be real. And it all starts with something as simple as touch. Here's my question for you. Have you noticed a moment when a woman became visibly more comfortable with your presence? And how did that change the way you approach the connection? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to hear what you've experienced. And if this resonated with you, if you're tired of surface level advice and you want to keep exploring the signals most men miss, hit that like button, subscribe to Mature Instincts, and let's keep this conversation going. Because the best insights aren't found in tricks or techniques, they're found in awareness. And awareness, that's something we've earned.